Hola, ¿cómo andan? ¿Todo bien? Yo todo bien, espero que ustedes también. Y bueno, hoy estoy acá porque quiero mostrarles este video. Y antes ponerlos un poco en contexto de lo que van a ver. eh, este video se llama La misión anglosajona, es un video que hace 15 años que anda dando vuelta por las redes. Quien ven en pantalla se llama Bill Ryan. Él en 2010 grabó este video porque recibió una información que él consideró muy importante de un informante que anunciaba ciertos eventos a nivel global que estaban planificando ser realizados. Y vamos a poner un poco en contexto leyendo una breve descripción de lo que es la misión anglosajona, de por qué este señor grabó este video. Y dice, en enero del 2010, Bill Ryan del proyecto Camelot recibió 11 páginas de información de una persona que estuvo presente físicamente en una reunión de altos masones en la ciudad de Londres en 2005. Lo que se discutió es escalofriante. Toda una hoja de ruta cronológica para ir adaptando ciertos eventos a nivel mundial, pandemia incluida. Por eso se hizo muy viral o medianamente viral durante la pandemia, aunque muchos seguramente nunca lo vieron, porque la anunciaba básicamente. Entonces, este video dejó de ser una predicción conspiranoica a pasar a ser algo a lo que había que prestar atención. Y ahora también hay que prestarle atención porque dentro de ese video que es extenso, acá vamos a ver un pequeño fragmento, habla de lo que está pasando ahora en Medio Oriente, del ataque de Israel a Irán, Irán respondiendo a Israel. Entonces vale la pena escucharlo, porque podemos preguntarnos, ¿lo que está ocurriendo ahora es pura casualidad, algo azaroso o es algo planificado? Así que bueno, los dejo con el video. Adiós.
What it is that is his speculation and my speculation about how all this fits together. It's very important information. We need to know this stuff. Even though it doesn't look like it's going to be on track, I don't think this will happen. I think that there are a bunch of crazy people there who are extremely determined to do something, and they were in a hurry, and this is important to understand, they were in a rush to try and roll out this sequence of events. Now, what he described is what the sequence of events was. It starts with Israel attacking Iran. Now, this hasn't happened yet. There have been a number of indications that there are forces which are trying to push this into happening. You've only got to follow the news for the last 2 years to realize that the public is being prepared for a justification for this kind of thing. Iran is being set up as being the bad guys that deserve something to happen to them, and so on and so forth. Now, that's going to be the start of what is like the opening gambit in a big chess game. And the plan is to provoke Iran or China to retaliate. And our guy, our source, who is a military man, is privately as convinced as he can be, although this has never been made public and this is not publicly known, that Iran does have nuclear weapons. He believes that they have been provided by China behind the scenes. And all of this is intended because it's all right with these controlling forces that Iran has nuclear weapons, because they want them to be used. The plan is for either Iran or for China to retaliate after Iran is struck with a nuclear weapon. At that point, there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, followed by a ceasefire. He heard this being planned in this meeting. This is being choreographed. It's like the script for a movie. This is exactly what's intended to happen. And during this time, the other thing that's being set up for this, and many people watching this will be aware that this is being set up in the background. We've had a lot of information about this from a number of good researchers from many countries who are reporting this on the internet, that things are being set up in many of the Western countries for there to be heavy controls over populations, martial law, increased powers on security forces who are not just the army or the police, but in Britain, for example, our source said that he absolutely knew personally for a fact, that a very large number of private security people, their powers were being increased to give them the ability to arrest people, the ability to detain, the ability to handle riots in streets. And here we're talking about just regular people working in private security, people who give the parking tickets on the streets. Their powers are being increased in the same way. And last year we heard President Obama talking about how he wanted to have a sort of national guard at home in America ready to handle this kind of thing. There are a lot of indicators that this is being set up. And in this rollout of this crazy scenario, where it is intended that there will be a limited nuclear exchange in the Middle East, the idea is that as the world looks upon this with horror, then they will demand from their governments that there are heavy controls over travel, over communication, over people who meet, over people who protest in the streets. They want to make sure that they don't have crazy bombers on aeroplanes, crazy bombers in the shopping malls. They want to make sure, and because people will be driven into fear by this, they'll request and demand and insist on heavy controls from their governments, which will be justified. And this is where you're going to kind of get the martial law situation in all the Western countries. It's intended as a justification. All of this is just the start of something, because this story gets much bigger, and it's pretty horrifying.
Destruir el relato que nos alimentaron, shadow baneados y nunca controlados.